Hello, thank you for joining me. I've come round to feed my friend's cats and I'm making use of her garden swing to do my second recording of the day. I had to record inside this morning because it was raining, but now it's dried up, lots of grey clouds, but it's dry. So I'm following on from talking about change. And I'm using a little model about how we can go into change, how we can get our heads around it. And if you'll excuse me, my brain, I need to get my head around my brain. It's sort of off in la-la land today. The word I'm using is mitigation. And mitigation is a word that's usually associated with business, as in risk mitigation, or in law, mitigating circumstances, and for the business, strategies that may be used. So we're going to be thinking of strategies. And definition of it is, excuse me reading, lessening force or intensity of something that you may find unpleasant. An act of making a condition or consequence less severe. And words that can be used instead are easing or cushioning the effects of something, and in our case, the effects of making changes. So, applying this model, the first point, there are going to be just 5. The first one is we have to get our head round the fact that we're going to make a change. We have to assume and accept that change is needed, or we've got to do it, or that we've chosen to do it. Usually easier if we've chosen to do it rather than the first two. This for many can be a big step. So a pros and cons list is a good way to start. What would I benefit from making these changes? And are there any negative aspects to making the changes? And my negative aspect of sitting here is that they are haymaking, so there are tractors going up and down. Apologies for that. So consider how you will be affected, or what will be affected, as in maybe finances, personal circumstances, personal relationships, health, lots of considerations. Moving on to 2. Why? Maybe you've been choosing to make changes. Why have you done this? And having chosen, what's stopping you from moving on? And that might be, as with the first one, even more difficult a consideration if it's something that's being forced on you rather than you have made the choice. But if you have decided you've got to make the changes but you're still hesitant, what's stopping you? What is it? Then we have controlling of change. Considering if you have total control of change, then it's the easiest scenario. Otherwise, it's who or what is affected by the change, and do they affect the amount of control that you have over making the changes and what the changes actually are. Maybe a partner or offspring, maybe financial situations. These can all be affected by change, and they have influence over our decision to make the changes. If it's just you, baby steps. Use baby steps. Use baby steps all the time if you're making any changes. A good way to progress, and unless it's a forced change, such as by illness or loss of work, breakdown of relationship, then you'll need to consider how you regain some degree of control. That might actually be one of your changes, that you want to get more control. But whether that's the actual thing you're trying to change or not, control comes into making changes. Consider, step 4, consider transference. So rather than making a break from situation A to situation B, can you just amend, adapt, adjust to make it easier, or amend, adapt, adjust on your way through making the changes? Maybe negotiate the hours that you work, the number, or maybe if you're working a few hours each day, if you could do a couple of whole days, or vice versa, whatever. If you've split in a relationship, how and when do you see the children, and how is that swap over made? Obviously prioritizing on the effects it has on the children. And finally, monitor you. Monitor you during and after change, because change can really affect us. And ask, is it meeting your needs? Is it all that you expected it to be? And build in some rewards for making the changes, and take care of your own emotional, physical and mental well-being. Self-care is a vital part of any change situation. Support, look for support. Friends, family who not necessarily take one side or the other, but are happy to listen and give suggestions without it always being, well, I did this and this worked for me, so you should do this. No. Floating ideas is good, but telling you that you should do something, you don't need. So there we are, just a few steps in the beginning changes of the beginning stages of making those changes. And I think I need to change my brain. I think I left it halfway along the way here. It seems to be missing in action. I do apologise. Okay, I'm going to have a little rock on this now, and then I will go and feed the cats. So thank you for joining me, and I wish that you could be here sitting next to me having a natter, and here sitting next to me, go away tractor, having a natter with a nice glass of wine or a cup of coffee would be brilliant. So I'm imagining it. On that note, take care, and thank you so much for joining me. As ever, it means so very much to me. Bye for now. Speak to you soon. Bye.